All right, next up. I was pleasantly surprised watching this guy out of the University of Arizona, Jonah Savaiinaea. Only allowed 2 sacks last year and 518 pass rush snaps. Let me double check the math here. Played 78% of his snaps at right tackle. Did kick inside to right guard. I think there were injuries a few times, so he took some snaps there as well. But he's primarily a right tackle. And let's see here, Mike. You had him. Oh, you and Rick both had him at number 5. Mike, I'll start with you. What do you think of Jonah?
I love this guy's frame. I mean, he looks like an offensive lineman built in a lab, even compared to Jordan Morgan, who I thought had a great frame on the left side. He's even a little bit wider, a little bit stouter, a little bit longer. Like, he is truly an ideal build. Feet at that size are incredible. His ability to move in pass pro, and that Arizona offense was a run and gun. He's taken a lot of deep drops. He's having to pass pro for a long time. Very impressed with how he was able to mirror at that size. So I do think he's probably more suited toward the interior just from that size perspective. I do think he had a little trouble getting guys pushing guys past the pocket off the edge when guys did get, we did get tested with speed. So just probably a little bit more of a guard, but he probably could stay a tackle if you really wanted him to. The one thing I disliked was his ability to sustain blocks. I thought his hands need to improve quite a bit before I'm ready to really go to bat from his first rounder, but this is a first round caliber athlete. He was only a sophomore last year. The arrow really is pointed up for this guy. There is a lot to like about him. He could join that mix at the top of this draft, truly, because he has that kind of talent in what he's capable of.
Let me ask you, compared to Jordan Morgan, even Fuaga, and maybe even Fatanu, all those guys out there in the Pac-12, did you think those guys needed to move inside? How do you rate them in terms of where you have them stacked with Jonah?
I thought Morgan had to move inside as well, but Morgan and Fuaga, I thought were probably better on the interior. Obviously, you're always going to want to give a guy a shot at tackle. It's a more valuable position. They cost more, so you can save yourself some money. If a guy's good there, you try to play him there, but I thought they were probably better suited on the interior, whereas I thought Fautanu was probably a tackle. And for Savaiinaea, it's like this far out, it's difficult to say because Morgan was a senior. They were all 4th or 5th year guys coming out. So he was obviously quite a bit behind them from a technical standpoint, but from a pure what they're capable of physically, he might be the best of the bunch.
All right, Rick, you also had Savaiinaea number 5 on your list. What do you think?
Yeah, I thought he had some lower body stiffness. I love his size. At times, I'd like to see him finish better with grit in the run game. Sometimes he plays with a clock in his head where he may not finish before the whistle blows, but he can engulf defenders at the point. I thought he was okay in pass pro, but the lower body stiffness shows up. I watched him. He struggled versus Latu last year from UCLA, just trying to mirror those movements. And then what surprised me was they started.
Wait, how do you do against Rice?
Huh? I didn't see that game. I didn't get down that low into the this is just summer scouting, so I was trying to find guys that he may have to block in the league. Use one as an example. I'm not sure about the Rice kid yet, but I'll get to him hopefully by the next podcast. But the thing that really surprised me, and I thought he was very good at, and was a different player, was he started at right guard versus Oklahoma in the bowl game. And there you see the movement in the run game. He just looked more comfortable than he did out at right tackle. So I think everybody's going to project this guy inside the guard that I think will help his value. But I saw him as a second-round pick right now. But I was taken back a little bit about how efficient he played in that bowl game as a right guard.
Yeah, I thought he was a mauler in the run game, and I didn't watch obviously all the games you watch. I didn't see the clock in his head in terms of the run game stuff. I was impressed with how he was as a run blocker. Like both you guys, I said he needed to hone his technique in pass pro. Plays with a great anchor, has heavy hands, but he can sometimes overset. And he got beat a couple times through the B gap because he was oversetting. And the last thing I wrote is guessing there will be conversations about whether he's better suited for guard in the NFL, because I'm always the last one to know about that. And this isn't my comp, Rick, but as you're talking about him, we had the same conversations about Dominic Puny out of Kansas because he played outside and then he moved inside once he was drafted. I think to spoil it here, I think he's a second-round pick as well. Mike, where do you think he goes? And don't give me the comp. Just tell me where you think he goes, and then we'll get Rick's comp.
I think he ends up going round 1 just because of offensive linemen getting pushed up boards.
Yep.
And I do think you'll see improvement again to be as young as he was, like still sophomore tape. And he may not even come out this year. Right. So,
yeah.
So I do think that the fact that he has, 3 more years or a few more years to do this, I think we'll see him end up round 1.
So Rick, your comp is interesting because I don't think we ever talked about moving this guy inside, right?
No, Kingsley Suamataia is the reason I made that comp is because I seen the same kind of lower body stiffness and the same movement stuff. That's why I had him, but I didn't see Kingsley play inside a guard. And I had a different opinion of this kid when I saw that Oklahoma game, and he moved inside the guard and thought he was way more efficient as a guard than he was at tackle. What I seen this at right tackle this year.
I think you and I both were sort of lukewarm on Kingsley, and it sounds like everyone feels a little bit better about where Jonah is right now. All right, Rick, you're 1-2 in the comp game. You have a chance to get to 500. Here are the comps: Robert Hunt and Tole Fuaga.
Oh my God. I'm going to say that Mike went with Robert Hunt.
Oh, you're cheating now. 2-2.
No, because he moved in the guard. You don't move guys.
That's true. that's my other kryptonite. Steelers players, and I don't move guys. Everyone's a tackle. All right, Rick, you're 2-2. With 2
I just
to go.
needed to get warmed up. Came out of the gates. I wasn't ready and prepared for that.
You didn't stretch. You just started running the 100.